What them up though? Your favorite auditor, audit them. The one who encourages you to audit them. You to audit them. Code 35 ILCS 200 property tax code. Please confirm with me that the audio is on. Press 1. Press 1 if you do hear the audio. Please hit the thumb up as well. Tax collection officials. Tax collection officials. Township collector's bond and oath. Each township collector, before entering upon duties of office, shall execute a bond with surety of that approved by the supervisor and township clerk. The bond shall be given for the officer or predecessor in the office 1 year during the proceeding. We're gonna skim through this stuff. Hello there, 147. We're gonna skim through this stuff. Filing of bond. The township supervisor shall, within 6 business days after the approval of the township collector's bond, file the bond with the approval endorsed thereon in office of county recorder, who shall record the bond, including the oath, in a book for that purpose. When recorded, the oath and bond shall be filed by the county recorder in office of the county clerk. A bond, when so filed for record, shall be a lien against the property of the township collector until he or she is complied with the conditions thereof. Let's wait for a few more people to get in here. We are going to be scrolling through the property tax code. Confirm with me if you're still here that you do hear the audio so we can go ahead and proceed. We are looking at the property tax code of Illinois. Perfect. Improper use of funds by collector. If a surety on any collector's bond is satisfied that the collector is making improper use of the funds collected by him or her, or as absconded, or is about to abscond, whereby the surety may become liable to pay the sum of money. The surety may obtain a court order against the goods and chattels of the collectors, just as he or she would be authorized to do so if the collector was personally indebted to the surety. The money collected on the property shall be paid to the appointed county collector for distribution to those taxing districts entitled to the proceeds. Taxing districts entitled to proceeds. Huh. Taxing districts entitled to proceeds. Oh, I gotta, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to. Can't find the email. Okay. The money may be collected for the property shall be on that property shall be appointed by county collector for distribution to those taxing districts entitled to the proceeds. Okay. Tax collection process. Mailing or emailing tax bill to owner. Each township collector and every county collector in cases where the town where there is no township collector upon receiving the tax books or tax books shall prepare tax bill showing each installment of property taxes assessed, which shall be filed out in accordance with section 20-40. A copy of the bill shall be mailed to the collector at least 30 days prior to the date upon which unpaid taxes become delinquent. To the owner of the property taxed or to the person in whose name the property is taxed, the collector may send the bill via email as provided in Suggestion B of subsection 2020. However, no bill shall be sent to a property owner or taxpayer via email unless the owner or taxpayer shall have first made such a request to the collector in writing. Section 2010, 200, 2010, mailing to mortgage lender. Okay, we'll skip over that. Duplicate copies, 2012. Of tax bills, the collector, upon approval by the county board, shall assess a fee. Well, actually, you know what? Let's read that one. Mailing to mortgage lender, 2010. When the copy of the tax bill is mailed to the collector of the owner or person of the tax bill in care of the address or mortgage lender. The mortgage lender, within 15 days of receiving the copy, shall furnish and mail an additional copy of the bill to each mortgager or the property or his or last known address as shown on the records of the mortgage lender. However, if the property is referred to a copy situated in a county which uses the estimated or accelerated billing methods, only an additional copy of the bill for the final installments of taxes due with respect to the real property shall be furnished and mailed by the mortgage lender to the mortgager. A copy may be used by the collector in receipting for a tax bill paid, and a copy of the record shall be retained by the collector. Section 2012, duplicate copies of tax bills. The collector, upon approval by the county board, shall assess a fee of up to $5 for each duplicate bill provided to any mortgage lender as defined in Section 190, who is not the property owner or owner of record. All amounts collected under this section shall be deposited into the tax sale automation fund established in Section 2145 of this Act. So you know what? Let me go ahead and write that down. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Oh, Faye. Tax sale automation fund. Okay, carry on. Information on bill or separate statement at 35 ILCS 215 shall be printed on each bill or on a separate slip, which shall be mailed with the bill. A statement itemizing the rate of which taxes have been extended for each of the taxing districts in the county in which district the properties is located, and in those counties utilizing electronic data processing equipment, dollar amounts of tax due from the person assessed to each of those taxing districts, including a separate statement of the dollar amounts of tax due, which is allocated to the tax levied under the Illinois Local Library Act and to other tax levied by a municipality or township for public library purposes. Section B. A separate statement for each of the taxing districts of the dollar amount of taxes due, which is allocated to the tax levied under the Illinois Pension Code or to any other tax levied by municipality or township for public pension or retirement purpose. B5. A list of each taxing increment financing TIF districts in which the property is located and the dollar amounts of taxes is allocated to the TIF districts. Local tax rate. Okay, beautiful. Moving on. You know, you folks could read this on your own time from your state. This is the Illinois Act. Forms of payment. Taxes levied by taxing districts may be satisfied by payment in legal money of the United States. Let's slow down. Taxes levied. Taxes levied. Yes. Taxes levied by taxing districts may be satisfied by payment in legal money of the United States. Cashier's check, certified check, post office money order, bank money order issued by a national or state bank that is insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or by a personal or corporate check drawn from such a bank to a respective collection officers who are entitled by law to receive the tax governmental acceptance of Credit Cards Act. A county collector may refuse to accept a personal or corporate check within 45 days before a tax sale or at the time if previous payment by the same payer was returned for a bank for any reason. Section B. Beginning on January 1st, 2012, subject to compliance with all applicable purchasing requirements, a county with a population of more than 3 million is required to accept payment by credit card for each installment of property taxes. Property that all service charges or fees as determined by the county associated with the processing or accepting of a credit card payment by the county shall be paid by the taxpayer. Keyword: if a taxpayer elects to make a property tax payment by credit card service, charge or fee shall be deemed voluntary by the taxpayer and shall not be refundable. So voluntary, but they don't push the order through if you don't select the box when you're making a payment online. So, by the and shall not be refundable. Okay, nothing in this subsection requires a county with a population of more than 3 million to accept payment by credit card for payment on installments of taxes that is delinquent under section 2110, 21.5, or 2130 of scavenger sale under division 3.5. Scavenger. Scavenger sale. So anyhow, 4 or 5 Article 21 of the Property Tax Code. A county that accepts payments of property taxes by credit card in accordance with the terms of this subsection shall not incur liability for or associated with the hearing requirement of subsection A of subsection 20, or local government acceptance of credit cards act shall not apply to this subsection. This subsection is a limitation under Constitution of the concurrent exercise by home rules, units, powers, and functions exercised by the state. Constitution of this concurrent exercise by home rule of units, powers, functions exercised by the state. 2027 reimbursement. 2027 reimbursement, ILCS 35, reimbursement of tax proceeds for annexed property. Notwithstanding any provision of law beginning in taxable year 2010, if properties annexed to a municipality under subsection 7-1-13 of the Illinois Municipal Code of any time during the taxable year, any taxpayer who is liable for paying property taxes of the property during the taxable year for apply for the municipality for a refund of the amount of property taxes A, paid by the taxpayer, 2, distributed to the municipality, and 2, attribute to the annexed property for the portion of the taxable year during which the property was not included in the municipality. The municipality shall refund those amounts to the taxpayer within 60 days after the application is received. A home rule unit may not regulate the collection or distribution of tax proceeds in a manner of inconsistent with this section. This subsection is a limitation under subsection of subsection 6, Article and the Illinois Constitution. So, designation of depository for township collector, investment by county collector, record of tax payments, 35 ILCS 220-40, record of tax payments. When any person pays the taxes charged on any property, the collector shall enter the payment in his or her book, specifying by whom paid, if owner, then addressee, and if so requested. The amount paid, what year paid for the property, and the value thereon of which the same was paid, according to its description in the collector's books and in the case text which paid under protest. And in case the tax was paid under protest. Ha! Ha! Also that the tax was paid. The entry and the receipt, if given, shall bear the genuine or fax signature or printed name of the collector or deputy receiving the payment. Evidence of the payment shall consist of the taxpayer's canceled check or money order and the receipt where they exist, together with the entry of in the collector's books. The collector or deputy shall be required to issue a receipt to the taxpayer if the taxpayer makes a payment in cash. Section B. The taxpayer requires a receipt of evidence of payment. If a taxpayer requests a receipt, the collectors or deputy shall mail the receipt to the taxpayer. The collector shall enter, opposite each property, the name and post office address of each person paying a tax, if that person is other than the assessee, and has required a receipt specifying by whom the tax was paid. Guys, smack the thumb up. We are looking at the Illinois Property Tax Code, Section 35 ILCS 200. Now looking at 250, Section A. Settlements. Intermediate settlements. Township collectors shall every 30 days within, required to do so by the proper authorities of the incorporated towns, cities, villages, and road school districts for which they are taxes for the city, which villages, and the road school district for which any tax is collected, render to those authorities a statement of the amount of each kind of tax collected for the entity and the amount paid under protest. At the same time, subject to sections 3.13560 through 3.13580 of the Illinois Municipal Code, the collectors shall pay over to the authorities. Angel, hello there. To the authorities, the amount of all taxes shown to be collected, other than those paid under protest. The payment shall be made as directed in the warrant attached to the collector's book. In the warrant attached to the collector's books. That means big books in the county. Big books in the county. Section B, township collectors shall each 30 days render a similar account of county taxes to the county collector, and at the same time the collector shall pay over the amounts of collected to the county collector. Section C, each township collector shall make final settlement for all taxing charged in the tax books at or before the time fixed in section 20-55. And making the settlements, the collector shall be entitled to credit for full amount uncollected of the tax books as determined by the settlement which the county collector. Section C. Section C. Each township collector shall make final settlement for all taxes charged in tax books at or before time fixed in section 20-55. In making the settlements, the collector shall be entitled to credit for the amount uncollected of the tax books and determined by the settlement which the county's collector. Section D. Section Final settlements by township collectors. Collectors shall return the tax books and make final collections within 60 days after receiving the tax books, except to the county collector may first notify in writing the several township collectors upon what day within 20 days after the expiration of 60 days from the day when the tax books are received by the township collector, that they shall appear at his or her office to make final settlement. Township collectors in townships organized under this provision of Article 15 and by the Township Code shall make a partial settlement with the county collector of all taxes collected at the expiration of 60 days from the day the tax books are received by the township collectors, but shall retain the tax books until or before the first day of September of each when the tax show final settlement for the amount taxes placed in their hand for collection together with the amounts of interest and penalties which may have occurred thereon. Which interest and penalties which that the township and collectors shall collect and return the tax books to the county collector. In 10 years following the completion of a general reassessment of property in any county with more than 3 million or more inhabitants, made under order or departments, the return settlements shall be made on or before 21st day after the day specified by the county clerks for the delivery of the books for the collection of taxes of the several township collectors, upon what day within 20 days after the 21st period they shall appear at his or her office to make final settlement. Huh. (35) ILCS 22065, Affidavit of Collections. Each township collectors at the time of returning the tax books to the county collector shall make affidavit to be entered upon the book and subscribed by the collector that the taxes charged against each property remain due and unpaid at the time of making the affidavit. In each case where those does not appear in a proper column, the amounts of taxes having been paid for by the collector and the date and payments of the name of any person as having made the payment, which affidavit shall be prima facie evidence of facts thereon stated. of payments and the name having the paid, which affidavit shall be unbelievable. 35 ILCS 220-65. 35 ILCS 220-70. 35 ILCS 220-70. Credit for collections. Township collector, upon the filing of tax books, the county collector shall allow the township collector's credit for the amount of taxes therein stated to be unpaid. Stated to be unpaid, and shall credit the same funds for which the tax was charged. When the county collectors make settlement within the county board, those statements shall be sufficient voucher to entitle him or her to credit the amount therein stated, less such amount if they many have been collected in him or her. Okay, beautiful. Moving on. 35 ILCS 2075. Satisfaction piece of township. Satisfaction piece of township collector. Upon the final settlement of the amount of taxes directed to the collector by any collector in any township, the county collector shall, if requested, give the township collector any of his or her sureties. Okay, let me write that down. 35 ILCS 220-75 sureties. Satisfaction piece for township collector. Upon the final settlement of the amount of taxes directed to the collector by the collected by any collector in any township, the county collector shall, if requested, give to the township collector or any of his or her sureties a satisfaction piece in writing. The satisfaction piece may be recorded in the recorder's office. Satisfaction piece may be recorded in the recorder's office. And when so recorder shall operate as the discharge of these sureties and of the lien upon the property of the collector, except as to all suits commenced upon the bond within 3 years after the recording of the satisfaction piece. Let me write that down. 35 ILCS 220-80. Failure of township collector to make final settlement. If the township collector fails to appear and make final settlement or pay over the amount in his or her hands when required in this code, the county collector shall forthwith the county collector shall forthwith cause the bond of the collectors to put in suit, and recovery may be had thereon for the sum due, for all taxes and special assessments, plus 25% thereon as damages, with cost of suit. So let's read that over. That's a cute one. You could put that as a tattoo on your body. 35 ILCS 220-80. Failure of a township collector to make final settlement. And the township collector fails to appear and make final settlement. Guys, please hit the thumb up. If the township collector fails to appear and make final settlement or pay over the amount of his or her hands, or pay over the amount in his or her hands when required in this code, the county collector shall forthwith cause the bond of the collector to be put in suit, and recovery may be had thereon for the sum due, for all taxes and special assessments, plus 25% thereon as damages, with cost of suit. Beautiful. Let me take a photo of that. Do a screenshot here. Guys, make sure you screenshot that. 35 ILCS 200 280. Mention this, you could get a 10% discount as this a tattoo. $35 ILCS 200 280. Failure of township collector. Moving on. $20.85. Powers and duties. Powers and duties of county collectors. County collectors shall have the same powers and may proceed in the same manner for the collection of any tax on property as township collectors. If in any township the office or township collector is or becomes vacant, if in any township the office of the township collector is or becomes vacant, and the vacancy is not filled on before or first day of May of the following vacancy, the county clerk shall deliver all the collector's books to the county collectors of the county, having annexed to each book of a warrant under the signature and official seal of the county clerk, commanding. You got to have a special seal. Beautiful. So you open up the big books and you get to see that it has a seal. The warrant books under the signature of official seal and the county clerk. Commencing the county collector to collect from the person's name In the books, the sum of taxes charged opposites their names, except as otherwise provided in section 21375. The county collector shall then collect and pay off all taxes. County collector shall pay off all taxes, assessments, and other charges shown in the book, and do all acts required by law, taxes, assessments, and other charges have been duly returned delinquent by a township collector. The collector's book so delivered to the county collector shall, for all purposes in subsequent proceedings, be used in the same manner and have the same force and effects if books were delivered to the township collectors and returned by them, as provided by law in the 10 years next following the completion of general reassessment of property in any county with more than 3 million inhabitants made under or the department, and for any reason the books may have not delivered to the township collectors within 5 days after the day specified by the county clerk for the delivery of, the county clerk shall deliver the books to the county collector, and all provisions of subsection shall apply. When any injunction restraining for the collection of the taxes dissolved after the tax books have been returned to the county collector, the taxes or portion thereof upon which the injunction has been dissolved shall be paid to the county collectors, who shall proceed through collection of the taxes had never been enjoined. Unbelievable. 35 ILCS 220-90. Tax proceeds of taxing districts. Escrow's accounts. The county collector shall deposit of any of the tax proceeds of taxing districts in accordance with the authorization of the district directly into a designated escrow account established by the district to repay specific bonded note, lease, or installment contract indebtedness. The ordinance or resolution of taxing districts authorizing that disposition shall, within 10 days after adoption by the governing authority of the taxing districts, be delivered to the county collector or county collectors in which the taxing district is situated. Huh. 35 ILCS 220-20-95. Continuation of counties. Continuation of counties collectors' powers after settlement. The power and duty to collect any tax due unpaid shall continue and devolve upon the county collectors in success in his office after his or her return of final settlement. Until the tax is paid, the warrants attached by the collector's book shall continue in force and confer authority upon the collector to whom the warrant was issued, and upon his or her successors in office to collect any taxes due and uncollected thereon, although the books have been returned or the taxes carried forward into any other book. Collection of delinquent special assessments. Counties of 3 million or more, and counties with 3 million or more inhabitants where any special assessments made by any city, incorporated town, village, where a special assessment made by a city, incorporated town, village under its charter, okay, under its charter, or by any corporate authorities, commissioners, or persons pursuant to law, remains unpaid in whole or in part, return thereof shall be made to the county collector on or before the first day of August next after it became payable, in the same manner as it returns for the most delinquent property tax. The subsequent advertisement, judgment, and sale of property of account delinquent of special assessments as provided below shall be considered supplemental, but to be also part of the sale of delinquent general taxes of the year which judgment and sale on account of delinquent special assessments is ordered. The penalties provided by law shall attach both general taxes and special assessments in the same manner as if they were only the one judgments in order of sale. In cases where application for judgment in order for sale for special assessments, special taxes, or installments thereof, and in interest may be under section 21-155. Notwithstanding that the special assessments, special taxes, or installments or interest have not been returned and as delinquent to the county collectors and or of before or the first day in August in the year of which application is made, and notwithstanding that the assessment, taxes, installments, and interest were not marked on the general tax books of the county collectors on or before the 10th day of March of the same year, or within 15 days after the county collectors receive the general tax books in that year. The advertisement, judgment, and other sale for delinquent special assessments, special taxes, or installments thereof, and interest not being subsequent to and or regarded as supplemental to as part of the sale of account of a delinquent general taxes or the year in which separate advertisement, judgment, and other sale accounts of the delinquent special assessments, special taxes, or installments thereon, and interest is had. However, the penalties provided by law shall attach the special assessments, special taxes, or installments thereof. And the interest in the same manner as there were only judgments and order of sale. County collectors shall collect, account for, and pay over special assessments, special taxes, and installments to the authorities or persons having authority to receive them in the same manner as they are required to collect, account for, and pay over taxes. Upon return or delinquent special assessments to the county collector, he or she shall may transfer the amount stated on the returns to the tax books, setting down opposite the respective properties in proper columns, the amount assessed against each property. Huh. Man, I don't know how the trolls keep coming in. Demand for payment of special assessments when general tax is paid. demand for a special assessment when general funds and taxes paid. With 3 million or more inhabitants, when any special assessment is returned to the county collectors of property on which the general taxes have been paid by the township collector, or on which special assessments which have been withdrawn on previous sale or sales is returned to the county collector, and the general taxes on the property have been paid, the county collector shall demand payments of the special assessments, or shall mail a demand notice to the owner. If the place of residence is known, the certificate of a collectors that a demand was made of notice given shall be therefore evidence therefore. Hello there, Kevin. Steven, what down though? Where are you tuning in from, KS? Okay. Oh, United Kingdom. United Kingdom. Okay. 2110, 35 ILCS 2110. Prior year's taxes to be added to current taxes. The amounts due for general taxes on property previously forfeited to the states otherwise remaining unpaid prior to the issuance of the collector's warrant shall accept as otherwise provided in section 18250 be added to the tax bill of the current year, and the amount thereof shall be charged to the collectors with the amount taxed for the current year, that the amount charged shall be placed on tax books and, except as otherwise provided in section 21375, shall be collected and paid over in like manner as other taxes. In like man, that's the best part there. English, I'm afraid. That's where fur is from too. Potluck. Okay. Shall be collected and paid in the manner. So look at that part right there. Shall be collected and paid over in like manner as other taxes. So that means all the other bezos are standing in line one. And that's, there it is specified as a statute. And except as otherwise provided in like everybody else. The county collector is authorized to um, advertise and sell the property in the manner required by this code. London. Fur 187. Okay. As if said property had never been forfeited to the state. Oh, beautiful. Shall be collected and paid over in like manner like other taxes. The county collector is authorized to advertise and sell property. The county collector is authorized to advertise and sell the property in the manner required by this code. In the manner required by this code, and if said property had never been forfeited to the state, the county, city, village, incorporated town, or school district may, by their agent, attend the sale for taxes and buy the property, and acquire, hold, sell, and dispose of title thereto. Guys, smack the bell as well. Hit the thumbs up. Keep the chat going, guys. Even if you put thumbs down, verbalize it in the comment section. Let's get more people in here. Sale for the taxes. The additions and sales shall be continued from the year until the taxes on the property are paid by sale or otherwise. So let's read that again. The same as and in the same manner as individuals may do under the laws of the state. In case of sale for taxes, the additions and sales shall be continued from year to year until the taxes of the property are paid by sale or otherwise. Okay. Oh, Faye, moving forward. 35 ILCS 200. 35 ILCS 220-115. Reports of taxes collected. Credits the county collector shall, on the first of every month, report to the county clerk in writing, which may be transmitted electronically, the amount of the county taxes received during the preceding month. The county collector shall keep the amounts as the collector of taxes, separate form, and the amounts as county treasurer. He or she shall credit the amounts as collectors with the amount of his or her monthly reports to the county clerk, and with the amounts of bankruptcies, removals, errors, forfeitures, and other credits allowed him or her on settlement with the county board. As county treasurer, he or she shall charge himself or herself with the amounts shown in his or her monthly report to the county clerk, and such other amounts as may be received as a county treasurer. The county board may examine the amount of vouchers at the time at the time by committee or otherwise. Okay. Guys, hit the bell, smack the thumbs up, share the video. Knowledge is the key to success. 35 ILCS 220-120. Account for collector and treasurer. Okay, beautiful. So anyhow, see if the audio's payment due dates for county collector. Let's see. Okay. Anyhow, folks, session session 100 of the property, ILCSs in general. Office may be declared vacant. Office may be declared vacant. Section 35 ILCS 220-160. If any county collector fails to account and pay over as required in sections 2140 and 12150, the office may be declared vacant by the Circuit Court of Judicial Circuit in which the county seat is located and in which suit is brought on his or her official bond. Ha! If such suit is brought by the Circuit Court and based on preliminary evidence, the court determines that it is necessary that a temporary county collector be appointed. Then the county board may, subject to the consent of the court, appoint an interim county collector to serve for the duration of the suit. List of errors and inability to collect. Section 35 ILCS 220-165. ILCS 220-165. List of errors and inability to collect. On or before the third Monday in December annually, the county collector shall make out and file with the county clerk a detailed list of errors in assessments of properties and errors in footing of tax books, given in each case a description of the property, the valuation of the amount of each tax and special assessment, and cause of error. County collectors in cases of removals and bankruptcies of taxpayers may give the same cause for the inability to collect as a sworn to be the township collectors, stating in their return that such was the settlement made by the township collector and that the tax still remains uncollected. Got to read that one over a few times. It might be about 2 or 3 low-key trolls in the chat room, working together to conspire. However, the knowledge and the sunlight is still coming. List of errors in ability to collect. Double payment. 35 ILCS 221-75. Refund for an erroneous assessment or overpayment. Erroneous assessment. Let's define that. Erroneous means wrong, incorrect. Wrong or incorrect. Well, that's the first definition that popped up on a basic dictionary. So, refund for a wrong assessment, refund for erroneous assessment, or overpayment. In counties other than Cook County, if any property is twice assessed for the same year or assessed before and it becomes taxable and the erroneous assessed taxes have been paid either by sale or otherwise, or have been overpaid by the same claimant or different claimants, The county collector, upon being satisfied to the facts in this case, shall refund the taxes to the proper claimant. When the county collector is unable to determine the property claimant, when the county collector is unable to determine the proper claimant, the circuit court, on petition of the person paying the taxes or his or her agent, and being satisfied of those facts in the case, shall direct the county collector to the refund and taxes deducted deduct the amount thereon pro rata for the monies due for the taxing bodies which the received tax erroneously paid, or the legal successors pleadings in connection with the petition provided for this case shall confirm to the purchase in civil practice law. Appeals may be taken from the judgment of circuit court either by county collector or by the petitioner. Appeals may be taken for the judgment for circuit court either by the county collector or by the petitioner. As in civil causes, a claim for refund shall not be allowed unless the petition is filed within 5 years from the date that the right to refund arose. If a separate certificate or errors results in the allowance of a homestead exemption not previously allowed, the county collector shall pay the taxpayer interest on the amounts of taxes paid and are attribute to the amount of the additional allowance, and the rate 6% per year to cover the cost of interest. The county collector shall proportionally reduce the distribution of taxes collected for each taxing district in which the property is situated. Ha! Okay, anyhow. Certificate of error. Okay, we'll leave it at certificate of error. 35 ILCS 200 property tax code. Audit them. I always encourages you to audit them. Thank you all for coming in.